Welcome to Fintech Daydreaming, the podcast that dives into the world of banking technologies and the ever-changing landscape of fintech companies. We bring you real-life examples from global and local thought leaders, as well as experts working within the financial industry, and seek out the best stories from the front lines of financial services innovation, where dreams of industry pioneers meet reality. Hosted by Pål and Ville. This is Fintech Daydreaming.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Fintech Daydreaming. And as you can tell, Ville and I are together in the same room, and that can only mean one thing. It means another live episode from an event somewhere in the world, and this time we are in
Copenhagen for the Nordic Fintech Week.
And this time, as always, we were invited by the organizers, who are...
Copenhagen Fintech.
You nearly forgot, didn't you? You nearly forgot. You're like, oh, how many different fintech organizations are there in Denmark? Oh my God.
Yeah,
yes.
But I got it right. It was Copenhagen Fintech.
Copenhagen Fintech, yes. I'm Pål. I'm going to be your host for this episode. But as you know from these episodes when we do it, it becomes a little bit of a ping pong between Ville and myself as we get fantastic people to come and join us here on this little sofa. They have given us this intriguing room.
I believe it's the officials backstage, however. So it's I'm sure there's many famous people who have been in this room as well. So we are just next in line.
We're on the top.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's been famous people here, but no one as famous as us.
That is true.
Yes. So, but it's a cozy little room. We've got some small issues, and every single event we go to, there are some things that give us problems.
Yes.
This time it is two things. One, the main stage is just the other side of this wall, which means that we do get quite a lot of noise leaking through. It's not so bad when they're presenting, but when they play the music in between the sets, it gets very loud and the walls are vibrating. So if that comes through at some point in time as we're interviewing our guests, we apologize for that. The other problem we've got is there's a door just behind us there, which is the main door for coming in here. And although it does have a big, fantastic, beautiful sign on it that says podcasting studio, it almost, I think, reads, please open this door and irritate us. So the door might open, we might politely have to ask people to close it and disappear again. But again, if that ends up in one of our interviews, then we go with the flow. We let it just...
It just adds to the color,
right?
It
does. It just adds to the color. We have got a number of people who have already reached out to us in preparation for the 2 days here now and said they would like to be interviewed. So we've got some interesting people already lined up, including some good old friends. And as we walk around here, we will nab other people. We have already seen people like Paolo on stage. Let's see if we can't grab him. We have heard dulcet tones of what sounds like Ewan, our good old friend. We haven't validated this, but if it is, then we'll see if we can grab him. We've got a suspicious feeling he's maybe hosting the main stage.
Yeah.
Let's see. But apart from that, we will just kick off and see who our first guest is.
See you soon.
Yes. Thomas.
Yes.
Fantastic. You could join us on the podcasting sofa.
I'm very glad to.
Yes. It's like very expensive sofa you found us.
Yes.
Very, very fantastically good.
It's the greatest sofa of the event.
Very Donald Trumpy. We
really.
found the greatest sofa. There is no other better sofa. Yes.
We love using the phrase greatest in the marketing department.
Yeah. So you are head of marketing at Copenhagen Fintech.
Yes.
So you've been responsible for making everybody know that this is happening.
Yes. Basically, we've done a lot of communication and marketing since January actually, when we had a kick-off session with Thomas Krog and our media partner Speakerbee.
Yeah.
It's 10 months culminating these very days.
10 months. And obviously, I mean, the most important part of that was when you decided to bring us in to help you with some interviews and some podcasting and everything else.
It wouldn't have been the same without you. I could say
Flattery,
that already.
Flattery, thank you very much. Yeah. But I mean, what's been your highlight so far in this whole journey? We are sitting here now, it's day one, there's been some fantastic keynotes, the atmosphere is bubbling, it's fantastic, you can almost taste it, but what's been your highlight in this journey so far?
You mean at the conference now, or at the journey in total?
All of it, all of it. I mean, yes, you could cheat and just say, the venue, we're here, that's the highlight,
Yeah.
but you know.
I think it really culminates at this very moment. Actually, we are still pretty early, or we're mid in day one.
Yes.
And for me, it's fantastic to see it all come together. All the different partners that we have, the booths that we talked about, how would that look? Seeing it all come to life is the combination for me to actually you envision it, right? And I haven't been to Nordic Fintech Week before, so it's a first for me.
Okay.
And then it's really exciting to have been working on this so intensely for so many months, and then seeing it fold out as it does right now. That's really amazing. So that is, I know it's a kind of a vague highlight, but to me it's just seeing it all come together.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us here on the sofa to share a little bit of behind the scenes of what's happening here, and hopefully we'll get some more people from Copenhagen Fintech to come and talk to us, because you come to a conference, an event like this, and you forget about the amount of work and headache and focus it takes to put something this big together. And I think we should sometimes remember that and celebrate the unspoken heroes that are behind all of this. So,
Well,
thank you for joining us on the sofa.
And thank you for joining us at Nordic Fintech Week. It's such a pleasure.
Welcome back. We have our official first guest of this live episode here with us right now. So please, who are you? How did you end up here? And what do you do for your day living?
Yeah, I'm Philip Hey. So I started the different company a few years ago. I'm a management consultant and IT consultant. So I've been working in the space for 25 years with IKEA, Sony Mobile, these kinds of large companies. And it's so important for them to get all of their figures right. And I've been working with information since the age 6 when I started coding. So I'm really into this game for a long time. And what I've always dreamt about, since this is a bit of a theme for the conference as well, is to be able to see the information, the models behind the information. And I met with my co-founder, Charles Hoffman, for about 2 years ago. And he joined on board. He's the creator of the XBRL, the Extensible Business Reporting Language Standard, some 25 years ago. And he's been looking into digital financial reporting and how to do best practices reporting ever since. In essence, connecting the figures from record of your financial systems to the reports that are created. And that is what he's done, and I've been looking at the information models behind, and we combine the two things in building systems. So I've been building systems for about 25 years, and now we're building a system together. And now here at the podcast, and just now an hour ago, we started to launch our platform. Online, it went live into production environment yesterday. So we're right on time with the podcast as well. Perfect timing.
Congratulations. That
Thank
sounds
you.
like a very important time for you. And again, for us fintech nerds, sounds like a perfectly exciting things that you're doing as well.
Yeah.
Not sure if my mom would agree that it's exciting, but at least we think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
First of all, and also something you just said, the Fintech and Dreams is the kind of the theme of the conference, which of course is funny because we are Fintech Daydreaming. So again, I guess we're right into the theme here as well. But hey, I did want to ask you, so who are your customers for your platform?
Yes, our customers, we just landed. So I mean, we're just the angel round during summer, and now we've been in stealth mode for a couple of months. We're just launching, and we landed our first customer last week, which is the world's largest reinsurer.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. So that's Munich Re as our first customer.
Nice.
So we just got through their procurement process, which is amazing. And we're seeing now a lot of more companies that we are talking to in real estate, insurance. We've been previously talking to large institutional banks, so investment banks. And their reporting process is the same as everyone else. So we've been talking to all of the major institutions in New York, not all of them, but many of them, and they confirm. So one managing director of controlling engineering tells us that it's the same story here as every other place. So this is a pain that is in the entire industry of being able to collect information, tie it together so that you get the graph from the individual small points and rolling them forward all the way through and seeing that everything is connected across your entire reporting chain. This is done in documents and spreadsheets today, and it's painful. It's extremely, excruciatingly painful because you want control. And everyone wants AI to automate this, and they know it's probabilistic. It will never arrive in finance unless control is applied. And if you can apply control to the entire end, and financial accountants and not the IT or the IT technical professionals provide the rules, then you have the business providing the rules with a feedback loop that is super tight in applying control, and then the AI story unfolds, because then suddenly you have control, enabling you to have the same level of proficiency on your worst accountants as you do with AI. So that means that suddenly we can work together with machines, with machine-readable information and metadata that is produced by business professionals.
Fantastic. I mean, it really sounds like you're a kind of born global company as well. So you're not like focused just on the Nordic market, so you're starting from a global marketplace.
100%.
Again, sounds super interesting. One of the themes that we have on the podcast many times, we talk about AI and how what's the problem for it being probabilistic instead of deterministic. So sounds like you're kind of walking that fence, so to say, solving these problems. But hey, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was a great honor to have you as the first guest of this live event we have here today. And for you, audience, we will be back very soon.
Jakob, that's your name, right?
That's my name.
That's your name, and the company is?
DoLand.
DoLand.
Yes.
DoLand. Okay, and what does DoLand do?
We help or make it easy for banks and wealth managers to provide their end clients with investment impact reporting that is relevant and actionable for the end clients.
Okay, so your primary customers are the big banks and the private bankers and wealth managers.
Wealth managers can also be foundations, family offices, etc. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And your role?
I'm the CEO and founder. Previously worked in banks and asset managers for many years. Now in DoLand. And basically a key pain for end clients who actually want to invest more sustainable is fear of greenwashing, lack of tools to assess the data. So we are making an end client product that's both nuanced enough to be credible, but at the same time is something they can relate to and create some actions for them. And then importantly, it's also a tool that's very easy to use for the advisor or the guy in the wealth manager who needs to manage it. Also providing some tools for them to guide the dialogue with the end clients.
So you said you're building the tool. Is the tool still in development, or is it out there and in the wild being used already?
I would say both. It's out there. We are live with the Merkur Bank in Denmark, which is the greenest, or the bank with the greenest brand, you could say, in Denmark. We are in dialogues with multiple other potential clients. And at the same time we're developing it, we are getting a lot of good feedback. So it's live, it's working, it has the advisory tools, and we're making it even more actionable and broadening the scope of it, etc. as we go along as well.
And you're seeing strong progressive growth going forwards?
Oh yes, we think there's a big market for this, and actually there's not a lot of, you could say, solutions out there doing exactly what we're doing. There's a bunch of solutions doing advisory and reporting, but where ESG/sustainability is more of an add-on, and we'll go deeper on that. And then there's a bunch of platforms looking more deeply on the data and being more professional tools where we make it more easy and have this end client focus, which actually means there's a lot of collaboration going on between us and these other fintechs, both in terms of product and commercial synergies.
We're definitely seeing, and we've spoken about this on the podcast frequently, the industry is moving more and more towards ecosystem of partners. It's more about how can we collaborate rather than compete,
right,
and to drive better value for the end consumers. So absolutely. What sort of fintechs do you want to partner with the most, or are you looking to partner with the big players?
Both, I would say. So we are partnering both with a company called, for instance, a good example is Matter, providing a lot of the data on the platform, a Danish fintech. So that's kind of more on the product side. Then we are collaborating with a number of other, or exploring partnerships with a number of other of these, you could say, solutions more focused on investment and reporting, where they can see a synergy in working with our solution as well. So I think we are collaborating with the community a lot in raising the product. And then you could say the whole launch with Merkur Bank has been a strong co-creation partnership as well. So we really like to partner also with see it more as partnerships rather than a pure client customer or like a provider customer relationship.
Well, fintechs, everything moves fast, so we always try to look at what's going to happen in the next 6 weeks, next 6 months. Where are you going to be in 6 months' time?
In 6 months' time, we will have more customers also, and going to look a lot into, say, for instance, the Luxembourg market, where we were just down on a trip last month. So we'll definitely be pushing also outside of Denmark. It's an EU-wide solution, also beyond that potentially, but that's our scope, yeah.
Fantastic. We're here at the Nordic Fintech Week here in Copenhagen. How have you enjoyed the event so far?
Oh, it's fantastic. We are here every year. It's full of energy, good dialogues, both with other fintechs and with potential partners and clients, and investor event this morning, etc. So it's bustling with energy. I like that.
Buzzing with energy. Fantastic. Thank you for joining us.
Likewise. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Back at the studio again, and this time I'm joined by Ulrik. So welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So who are you? What are you doing here?
My name is Ulrik. I'm the managing director of a charity called Giv Effektiv. So we use evidence and data to find out where donations can improve or save most lives per dollar that you donate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So and I understand you're a not-for-profit organization.
Exactly. Yeah. So we raise donations for the charities that we believe can use them the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does day-to-day business look like for Giv Effektiv? I mean, do you go around fintech conferences finding new customers or new donors or institutions interested in your services, or what do you do?
Yeah. Good question. So we're fundraising basically, and one way to do that is through events. It's not the most effective way to do it, it seems. But here at Fintech Week, you might find people that are able to give a little bit more. You might find corporations that are interested in ESG, or you might find corporations that are interested in corporate donations. So we could expect that if we find donors here, they'll give probably a little bit more than the regular donor. But otherwise, what I do is I fundraise. I try to get people to donate through press, through media, through digital campaigns. I try to inform the public about the differences in impact between interventions. And then that's how we create awareness about our brand, and then hopefully people, they donate. Yeah. So this day we've raised 7 million Danish kroner. Yeah, for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
So, and we're on an upgoing trend, so that's
so.
positive.
Are you a Danish operation, Nordic operation, a global operation?
Danish operations.
Okay.
We focus only on Danish citizens and Danish taxpayers.
Right.
So they can get tax deductions from giving to us.
Yeah.
And the way we do it is that we've structured the operations so that administration is separate from donations. So we get all our operations covered, costs covered by external funding. From foundations or a few donors that really like us and want to donate to our operations. And then everything that we actually raise goes directly to charity. So that's how we divided the administration and the donations. People tend not to like administration costs when it comes to charity. So I don't blame them, although there are quite many misconceptions about this.
I can certainly relate to that feeling.
Okay.
So, I work in a bank myself, so you know what it is.
Yeah.
So we're here at the Nordic Fintech Week in Copenhagen. So how are you enjoying the event so far?
Well, so far so good. I'd say I came a little bit late. I live 2 hours away by car, so I had to get up early and pack my car with we're serving espresso, donation-based espresso at our booth. So I had to pack the car and get up here and Yeah, so we just arrived an hour ago.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so far so good.
Okay, so another day in front of you, and then one more tomorrow, and then we will have a full report, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I'll be happy to come back and report.
All right, great. So how can people reach out to you if they want to donate, for example?
They can go into giveeffektivt.dk, and there you can give a donation. You can read more about how we select the charities that we recommend and pass on the funding to. You can find me on LinkedIn. My name is Ulrik Jonsen. You can also type in my name on Google, and you'll find a bunch of podcasts about charity. Long story short, I used to be a Buddhist monk.
Oh wow!
Back after I graduated from high school, and then came into this career here, and there are a few podcasts about that too. So if you want to learn a little bit more about my motivation for doing this work, pursuing this positive venture, if we could call it that, then type my name in Google, and you'll find a few podcast episodes to learn more. I'd say visit our website.
Yeah. Great.
Or find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah. You're definitely the first Buddhist monk that we've had on the podcast, so congratulations.
Thank you so much. Maybe I'm the first Buddhist monk to ever attend Nordic Fintech Week also.
That could very well be. Okay, thank you, Ulrik, for coming on and coming on the podcast, and we will looking forward to hearing how your donations went.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
So good to meet.
Thank you. We run into another good friend here at the corridors of the Nordic Fintech Week, and run into Kim. So, how are you?
I'm very, very good. Thank you so much. Got up early this morning and prepared myself for 2 exciting days at the Nordic Fintech Week.
All right.
Yeah.
And what do you do? Who do you work for?
So I'm the VP at Nexi Group, taking care of the Danish market, that being the banks and primarily the issuing business, but also looking into the various verticals that we have within our business, taking care of the banks all across.
All right. And what brings you to the Nordic Fintech Week?
So I've been here, let's say, for many, many years, and we've been in cooperation, both in my existing job, but also previous roles with Copenhagen Fintech. And this year, I'm super excited to announce that we have now become a full partner with Copenhagen Fintech, and let's say cementing that and looking forward to the work that goes beyond being at a event like this and having the conversations with both the members, the fintechs, and understanding and sharing thought leadership within the community. So super excited about that.
Yeah, I think you found a good place to join for sure. On top of that, I believe you're going to be on stage tomorrow presenting. So what are you going to be talking about?
I will be on stage tomorrow talking into, let's say, how banks should consider looking into, focusing on enablement of the customer journeys and the user experiences from a tech perspective. So Nexi being a pay tech, we deliver the tech capabilities for banks within all the value chain of that. And I think we've seen a lot of movement over the last years, and also Nexi been through a transformation, obviously, from bringing 3 companies together. We've seen we've rapidly developed ourselves over the last 6 months and are much more ready, let's say, to articulate our vision and strategy in order to deliver and enable banks, let's say, to focus on the front end part and let's say, partners or pay techs as ourselves deliver the back ends. Very much also from a, let's say, CapEx perspective, you see too much CapEx going into to old legacy platforms, etc. I think you can maybe do that a bit smarter.
Yeah.
We got 3 solutions, and I'm excited to give my, let's say, perspective on that. There's a lot of themes around this on the fintech days here. So excited about that.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, definitely the banks seem to be going through this journey that sometimes it's like there's a phase of more outsourcing, and then it's back to insourcing and outsourcing and insourcing. So what you're saying is that we're kind of heading back towards the outsourcing part again.
At least what I see is that there is an increased focus on from a service center perspective within banks on what is the core and where should you look into, let's say, more modularity and or partnerships in order to have the full value delivery towards your clients. So I think that is what I would tap into. And payments, well, always been, one of the products and services that the clients or, the clients of banks, and you would know that from Nordea, that is what they see, but they don't see the tech.
Yeah.
So why spend your 80% of your time on the techie part and have, big operations taking care of that when you could actually, let's say, funnel, let's say, more money or less money, but actually use it on the innovation and the front end part that you would actually like to deliver.
Yeah.
Challenging some of the fintechs or neo banks that we see out there that are, let's say, increasingly getting a footprint when it comes to legacy or incumbent banks.
Yeah.
And I think that banks would like to be there
Yeah.
as well and can be there, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, intuitively it makes sense because there are these kind of very well standardized modules like card payments, SEPA payments are off the top of my head, that are, again, very well standardized and replicated across every bank has the same module. So intuitively it makes sense that why do you have that same replication in every bank? Why couldn't you have common infrastructure for those standardized parts and then focusing on the customer experience and customer service as the kind of differentiating part? Again, interesting times for sure, once again. But good. So again, being here in Copenhagen Nordic Fintech Week, what do you expect now most out of the next 2 days?
So I would say with my focus being on a keynote tomorrow and preparing for that takes some time as it is. Getting together with clients, partners and peers, sharing thought leadership and, getting together. It's a good venue for that. I like the loose, let's say, format that Copenhagen Fintech had all along. So just looking forward to see people, and people are welcome to reach out spontaneously or book via the app. Sometimes the app, you don't get to see it, but that's why I bump into people and talk, mingle.
All right, great. Thank you for being on the podcast, and looking forward to your keynote tomorrow.
It was a pleasure. Thank you guys, and good to see you.
Yeah, thank you.
Paolo, it's fantastic to see you again.
Yes, it's a great chance to be here at the Nordic Fintech Week and have another conversation.
Yeah, you presented this morning.
Yes, I just presented, basically it was about platform economy, so my bestseller. So it was a good audience, a good vibe, so enjoyed it.
So it was your famous keynote with the South Park cartoon in it.
Yes, absolutely. I'm trying to explain people why digital is not so easy as many expect, and so they need to go to the root of the problem. Essentially, the mobile phone we all have in our hands is a technology that demands most of the revenues of banking going forward are operated in an offer-oriented ecosystem. So how do you put an offer-oriented industry on demand-driven technology? Now with generative AI, there's a bigger chance of dealing with communications, so conversations, but still you need to understand how to do that because it's not so immediate, and so that was a core.
Yeah.
And I can give you an example about this one. I think it's very interesting for your audience. So if you think about how banks invested in technology and transformed their relationship with clients over the last 10, 15 years, at the very beginning is what I call digitalization. So they started closing branches, so they had to lift and shift the technology maybe on a cloud estate because they thought we need to reach out to clients differently outside the branch. But that didn't really change the economics, and in the sense that the digital app they started using was not generating revenues, was primarily a utility to check your account, but you don't make money when the client check their account. So banks started investing in personalization, that means machine learning, to make the engagement on the digital app more meaningful, and that gave them a chance to start selling to the client. In particular, the basics of the banking products like a credit card, a saving account, and switch from one into another to get more benefit. And it took them a few years to do that. And so that's how they do, through notifications, which are personalized. What is happening now is that with generative AI, banks start engaging clients in a conversation.
Yeah.
But what clients are telling me is that as you onboard the client into a chatbot, instead of going through the app to direct themselves, once the conversation is finished, the client is out of the chatbot. Where do you put the notification? So in this relentless journey of applying digital capabilities to the banking engagement, banks keep on losing the client. So, and the reason is because in the end, being very transactional, that means focus on piece by piece, problem by problem, product by product. It's difficult to create that engagement that I call outcome that enables you to transform the way you get paid by the client to access your services. So that is the relevance of this conversation I'm having with the industry, still anchored to the definitions of the demand and offer, pull and push of banks and fintech and platform economies, which is an evergreen because it's at the foundation of how you really use digital to engage the client. If you understand that, you do better. If not, well, good lessons learned to learn by mistakes.
And that's where banks are failing repeatedly because they are used to being in a push economy. They will push the products towards the users.
The problem is that also the fintech are trying to replicate that. So I always remind people that to get value out of digital, you have to change the business model to get the benefit of digitalization.
Yeah.
What many do, they believe that the business model is technology. It's not.
No.
The business model is how people pay for that. So allowing people to access the same product just in a seamless way by paying the same way, that does not change the business model, and actually corners you even further into a margin compression where if you don't have big volumes, you can survive. So I'm working with people like, or companies like Nubank, for example. They have, we met a few times, 130 million customers. It's okay, they're wonderful, but can a Danish bank or Norwegian banks be like Nubank? Of course not, you don't have the market. So you need to be very deliberate in understanding the difference between building value or building volume, because the business model around that is different. So the way you use technology to power it up is different. But I still hear a lot of simplifications in the way people look at the problem. And I'm sorry, guys, you got to go back and study.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. But one of the things that I'm interested in, I love your books. I've read all of your books. Right, and you just released another book with Brett King and everybody, right?
Let me show that to you. You have automatic copy, first one, Branch Tomorrow.
Yes, yeah. I've started reading it as well, and we need to get Brett back to talk about that book. But what about you? Any new books in the pipeline? Anything exciting that you're willing to share?
So far, so good. I've been very busy with the IBM research and this one actually, so it took some time. I actually released a piece of work through the IBM Institute of Business Value that is on core banking. It's called the
I read it yesterday.
core banking problem. Yeah. And I think that the most provocative thing that I could do was to be very sober. So to tell the truth, the fact that both cloud and core banking modernization did not generate the value that many CEOs expected, but there are key lessons learned. I learned from them that we can all look at to make sure that the next 5-10 years of investment in core banking as well as AI is better looks better compared to the last 10-15 years. And as I always do, I spend time with the clients worldwide. So I also publish edited versions of that conversations so people can access it. I have guys like the chief risk officer of Nubank talking to the head of AI strategy and products of Nubank, or I have the CTO of retail banking at DNB in Norway.
I know him very well. He's a personal friend of mine.
He's a great guy. I learned a lot. So what I try to do is to build these conversations up. And then when I do research in the IBM, it's like providing a point of view which is not just the IBM point of view, but is what we learn filtering through the eyes of the makers and providing our interpretation on everything that happens, which makes the research we do at the IBM Institute for Business Value effectively differentiated and peculiar.
Yes, I remember from my IBM days.
That's all there to be read by anybody inside or outside the company.
Exactly. Fantastic. Thank you for joining us here on the sofa, and safe travels back home. And we'll talk again soon.
And of course, if anybody wants to learn whether the economic model of branches or digital apps works or not, Branch Tomorrow.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you.
Ciao.
Leda, welcome! Fantastic!
So good to be here.
It is. We keep bumping into each other like this. We're going to bump into each other again at the next conference.
We should record again at the next conference.
We should. We should make like a Leda and Pål around the world.
Yeah.
And just sort
Traveling
of meet
the
up.
world with us.
Meet up and have chats about random things, but fintech related.
And one day we will celebrate meeting in an actual city where at least one of us lives, which we haven't done yet.
No, you're right. You're right. That has to happen at some point in time.
At some point, it's aspirational.
So this is you promising you're going to come to Helsinki?
Yes.
Yeah. It has to be before I move out of Helsinki to wherever it is I decide that I want to live, where it's just not cold and snowy and miserable.
Yes, that is a deal. You have to give me a time frame if it's imminent, but yes, that's a deal.
I will definitely give you a time frame. Yes, absolutely.
Deal. We're shaking on it.
And maybe, yeah. We also need to have a little bit more of a chat around my book, which is going to come out next year, which you have been fundamental in this journey. So I have to thank you greatly for that.
It's my pleasure. I'm excited to see it out. It's a
it's
topic we need to be talking about more. I'm excited you wanted to write it. I'm excited the publisher was excited. Now we're gonna be publishing siblings with the same parent.
And it's so closely related to your latest book that you were just presenting about.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and for anyone that hasn't bought the book and have got their heads buried in the sand, the book is called?
The second book is called Beyond Resilience, Patterns of Success in Fintech and Digital Transformation, and it's picking up where the first book left off and saying, okay, we know why things fail. Is there any commonality to success, and can we learn from those who have gone before?
Yes. And you interviewed an awful lot of fantastic people for that book.
I did. Yeah. I interviewed a lot of people, which was a lot more time consuming than I expected, which is naive, frankly. And it created an interesting pressure, as I've mentioned to you before, in that I set out to write something, but then because I did a whole host of interviews with people that I've known for a long time and respect and care about, it became very emotional to produce something that would feel good to them. Yeah. Not just paint them in a good light, because it wasn't about that, but like tell their truth. Yeah. This sounds very millennially, but you know what I mean. Like people share their stories with vulnerability. It was a burden I had not anticipated. The nerves of, okay, will all 65 of you feel like I did you justice? So I'm not sure I'll be doing an interview-based book again. It was a lot of work. But on the far side of it, it was amazing. And sneak preview for your viewers, there is a pattern to the success stories, but it entails doing a lot of difficult things simultaneously, consistently for a long time. So it's not a silver bullet, but there is a pattern.
And I am convinced that my book will bring out some of that pattern. So, you know.
I'm expecting that, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. We need to sit down and make sure I don't contradict you, because then you're just going to slap me around the face and say, how dare you publish this?
Yes, so, friendship is over.
Exactly, yes. But for those who haven't been following us, and if they haven't been, then I think maybe we need to slap them as well. But we did have you on the last season to talk about the book. Yes. So we will create a link and people can go and listen to the full episode where we talk about your book. Brilliant. In actual fact, we had you on after your first book, we had you on after the second book, and I hear rumours there's potentially a third book in the pipeline.
This is where if our publisher is listening, please go make a cup of tea. There is a contract.
Yes.
There haven't been many words.
Okay.
So the pipeline is maybe charitable. There is an idea. There has been a book proposal. There is an agreement that I will write it. I just need to get writing.
Well, if the two first books are anything to go by, then it's going to be a fantastic book. But
thank you.
We are here at Nordic Fintech Week. You just had a fantastic keynote. What do you think about the event?
Oh, it's brilliant. It's always a great event. I like events that have a sticky community.
Yes.
Whether it's a vertical of the market or a geography, it doesn't matter. That sense of we're in this together and we will always come back together creates an ongoing dialogue, which not all events have. But this event does it. And it's great because you get to see friends. You get to make friends and see friends because of that continuity. But also the conversation is different. The last couple of days, I've been in a lot of conversations that are very proactively thinking about the sector, the region, in the context of a changing world. And you don't have that type of conversation if you just throw some people together, no matter how similar their titles are.
No, you're right. It's always the people that make the events good.
That's right.
Not the organisers. And you almost didn't manage to get here because of the whole drone flying thing, but
yeah,
we're
we
glad.
had some excitement.
Yes.
I was one of the flights affected by the drone service to Copenhagen airport on Monday night. So I left London and I spoke too soon. You know that thing, don't speak too soon. I spoke too soon. I was like, oh, we're leaving on time. This is quite exciting. That never happens. And we were set to land on time, but then we were diverted to Malmo. Kept on the ground for 3.5 hours, and we're not allowed to disembark and return to London, which is a very long day to end up exactly where you started. But and I'm working on a blog for this because it was actually quite a hilarious snapshot of humanity, how people reacted to something not going as planned. Yeah. People kicking off, people screaming, someone trying to bribe the stewardess to let them out, I'll pay you. It was not great, but it has created a very all's well that ends well, right? I was a little tired, but the reality is it was all fine. But it has created a very interesting, very real backdrop to some of the cybersecurity conversations we're having, some of the payment sovereignty conversations we're having. There's definitely a very real and present changing landscape. And my little incident with the drones obviously brings it into sharp relief.
I think that's a fantastic way to start your next book.
Can you imagine?
But thank you very much for joining us here on the sofa.
Thank
It's
you for
been
having me.
fantastic talking to you again, and maybe if you're sticking around, we'll share a beer this evening.
I'll see you later.
Yes.
I just heard the phrase, the Greeks are taking over, being said here in the backstage studio that we're recording today. And we do indeed have the second Greek of the day as a guest here today. So please tell us, who are you and what do you do?
So thank you for the invitation. Glad to be here. I'm Panagiotis Kriaris. I have a very difficult first name to pronounce. So most of the people, they think that my second name is actually my first name because it's shorter. So great to be here. What do you want to know?
So what are you doing here at the Nordic Fintech Week?
So I was basically giving a keynote on trends in fintech and payments. I was on stage. And I have a panel on a few hours, I think at 3 o'clock, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So we're discussing basically about customer experience, how is this changing, lots of interesting things there to talk about as well.
So what are the trends in payments and fintech right now?
I mean, if I had to summarize, I mean, if you go out and look at the headlines, I think you're probably gonna bump into two main topics. So the first one is agentic AI, and the second one is stable coins. I try to not to focus too much on these two, although you have to, right? I mean, you have to explain what's happening. And then, I mean, you have things like real-time infrastructure, which is very important. We can discuss. I mean, you have embedded finance, right, which is still. You have what I call the rebundling with the super apps, right, which is again happening. And then the question is, how does AI influencing this as well? Lots of things going on.
Yeah, very, very familiar themes, I can say. We've talked about stable coins extensively, for example, this season in our podcast. Yeah. And it definitely seems to be one of the bigger topics for the latter part of this year, I would say. So specifically on stable coins, I mean, have you seen or heard anything interesting here in the event about stable coins that you haven't heard before?
I mean, to be honest, I've not seen, I've not talked to many people here in the event because they were just arriving, and then I had to go to my keynote. I followed a couple of discussions, but it seems, let's say, if you are to go on the news, you're going to see every second headline having something to do with stable coins, and I think that's good. And I would say that there are two things that are standing out connected to this. So the first one is, I think this is probably an outcome of regulation, mainly the Genius Act in the US, which is unleashing all this kind of activity. That's the first one. And I think the second one is probably we are witnessing what I call kind of an infrastructure play. So you have, let's say, right now the system is not able to support stable coins, right? And you're going to have two things. You're going to have a transition. So you're going to have companies building the bridge, and in parallel, you're going to have companies building actually the built-up, supporting, let's say, the new landscape. So I think we see these two things happen in parallel, and that's why you have, let's say, lots of new players and startups and fintechs trying to build bits and pieces of this. Then you have lots of big players trying to be early on in the game, and we all know the names, right? So a combination of those plus. You have others that are worried what will happen. You have central banks reacting to this. So it's a kind of a mixed reality, I would say.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see how this all plays out. But one thing is for sure, there's a lot of activity and talk at the moment, at least related to new rails of paying for things with stablecoins. I have my own opinions, but I'll leave them to me in this occasion. But good. So how have you enjoyed the event so far, and what are you looking forward to most?
I mean, actually, it's my first time to the event, but what I've seen so far is amazing. I mean, lots of people, I think more than, I cannot recall the name, but it's definitely more than 1,000, 1,500. So it's not huge, but it's also, very good quality.
Yeah.
I think you have lots of very, very good quality people and speakers. I mean, the names I've seen on the panels, we had the leader here, other people as well. I think this speaks for the event, and I had a few good discussions. I had a couple of, I did a couple of podcasts as well. It's always nice to have. And again, I hope that I'm going to be able to also follow some of the discussions happening. I'm leaving today, but definitely one of the, I would say, major events, at least in the Nordics, and I would say in Europe in general.
Yeah. So we'll leave it there, and thank you for joining us, and hope you enjoyed the rest of the event.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And welcome back to the studio once again. We found another interesting guest for us on the podcast today. So please, who are you and what are you doing here?
Yes, thank you. So I'm Lotta Domonkos. I'm the CEO of Fimento. We are a fintech company within open banking, PSD2 data, and AI agentic.
Nice. So are you like a PSD2 aggregator for financial data? Who are your customers?
So our customers can be like the more traditional, use cases such as banks or fintechs or financial institutions, or like a typical use case can be, credit assessment for like a lender is using our solution to complement it. We actually have a partnership with the Nento Group, Asiakastieto in Finland, and UC in Sweden. So we are like the real-time part that can complement. But there are also other use cases and other areas beyond the more traditional finance cases.
Yeah, now I'm tempted to go a little bit deeper on the solution, but we're trying to do this quickly. But I do need to ask: how do you manage the consent of actually fetching the PSD2 data for customers? Do you get individual consent, and do you store the data afterwards? How do you manage that?
No, it's all like anonymized data, so we don't store any data. We don't. That's like the end user's data, owns the data. And the consent is based on, for example, bank ID or similar.
Right. So if I use some solution that uses your platform, I don't have to be concerned that my data will be somewhere in the cloud, I guess.
No, yes.
Okay, good. That's good
important.
to hear. Good to hear and clarify.
Yes, of course.
But so again, we are here at the Copenhagen Nordic Fintech Week, and you're here as well, I guess, meeting existing and future customers maybe, and maybe new partners. How has the event been for you so far?
Very good. I really like that the Copenhagen Fintech Week, Nordic Fintech Week, is really like it's very open-minded. It's very easy to network and to discuss very like informally. Like everybody is open to see if do we have any potential for collaboration. And I think that distinguish itself from many other conferences where it's a little bit more. It's a little bit harder. Everybody's having a guard a little bit more.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, we as a podcast, we've been doing all of these Nordic fintech kind of events because there's like every country seems to have the one major fintech event. So, and we always like to make them compete against each other.
That's good.
So
of course.
I already told our friends both in Sweden and Finland that they need to step up their game with the venue because the venue is actually quite nice, even though the room we're in is quite basic, I would say, but the venue itself is quite nice.
It's very fintechy. Okay, it's a little bit further outside the city. I mean, all fintech conferences has its pros and cons, but the venue is still like a perfect fintech venue. A good network area, easy to find, a good networking app. All those kind of things matters, of course.
There's one negative though. It was the lunch was actually quite bad, but
we're also saying the same thing. So take that feedback that
exactly.
Lunch under average.
Yeah, exactly.
Important.
Good. But okay, so other than expecting that tomorrow's lunch to be better, what else do you are waiting for the rest of the event?
It's going to be nice with the barbecue this evening, of course. Live music. I like that a lot. But just continue. I mean, so far I had really good discussions, and there's so much potential, many like interesting use cases and people to discuss further with. So I hope that's just going to continue.
Perfect. On that note, thank you for being a guest on the podcast, and looking forward to continuing interesting conversations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Daniel,
hello.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us on the podcasting sofa here at the event.
Well, it's great to be here.
Yeah. No, you work at Enfuse.
I do.
So tell us, what do you do at Enfuse? Who are you? Where do you come from? What is your secret power? And
what do I do?
What do you do?
This is where they find out that I actually don't do anything. But no.
That tends to be the case for most of us.
So I've been with Enfuse now almost 3 years. I'm the Chief Risk Officer and Money Laundering Reporting Officer. So I'm working across compliance, regulation, risk management, and financial crime.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of the high level. We can drill into that as much as you want.
Oh, I think we'll drill into it a little bit because we haven't had very many risk officers and compliance people on the podcast. It's like that's where all the wizards and gurus are hiding out. The ones that are saying, "Thou shall not do that because we will end up in trouble," right?
Well, I'm hoping there's not a reason you haven't had them on. I'm about to get caught out.
No, not at all. No. But tell us a little bit more. I mean, what does the day in a compliance officer's life look like?
It really, no day looks the same.
Okay.
What does the day look like? I mean, it always starts with coffee.
Of course.
Of course. But it's preempting problems so that they never happen.
Yeah.
Solving problems when they do happen.
Yes.
One of the things I always like to say about the job, because a lot of the areas I touch on, financial crime, regulation, compliance, risk management, they kind of all overlap into each other. And I like to think of my job as like just a problem-solving job, basically.
Yeah.
That's why I love it. And the people I work with at Enfuse, I mean, they are the best. I mean, they really are. And I've worked in a number of places. Former colleagues, you're great, but the people I'm working with at the moment at Enfuse, they are unbelievable. They're the best at what they do. And we just basically get around the table and solve problems. And it's enjoyable and it's fun.
Yeah, I have to admit, we had Monica on as a guest, I think it's about a season or so back. And the amount of passion she has and the focus on driving Enfuse is admirable. Fantastic person to talk to. So
it's infectious. I think everyone that's around Monica and Denise as well, both of them, it is infectious and it just spreads throughout the team and the business. And that's why the culture there is great.
Yeah.
It's a great place to work for that reason.
I think most people know who Enfuse is, but for the very few who don't, who is Enfuse? What is Enfuse?
Well, okay, so I can say what we do.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do a couple of things. So we've got we do issuer processing. So we process transactions for cards. Okay, and then the other thing that we do is that we have 2 regulated businesses, one in Europe, in Finland, and another one in the UK. They are electronic money institutions, and through those regulated businesses, we offer what's known in the industry as BIN sponsorship. But in simple terms, we enable other businesses that don't have the Visa and MasterCard membership or the EMI or electronic money institution licenses to issue cards to their consumers. So we're supporting them and their businesses. And that's what we do. So we're kind of like in the background, making sure it all runs smoothly, keeping everything compliant, providing that service to enable them to add a card offering to their business.
So, I mean, we're talking an awful lot about embedded finance. It seems to be the hot potato this year. Everything's around embedded finance. To help our listeners a little bit to understand what you were saying, that means that, for instance, if I wanted to create an organization where I wanted to give cards to my members, I could basically just piggyback on everything you are doing and say, here is the Pål card to all my fantastic friends and family. And in reality, what they're doing is walking around with a capability that's empowered by Enfuse.
Exactly.
It just says Pål on the card.
Yeah, we're powering it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's in simple terms. I hear all these terms in the industry, like embedded finance. These are not officially recognised terms by the regulators, and obviously I'm in compliance and risk.
Yeah.
So I hear a lot of these terms, and I listen to people. I'm thinking you're using these terms in all different contexts, and I'm not even sure people are even speaking have the same meaning when they say these things. I think it does have a broad understanding, but what you've described is it. That is what it is.
So I would have thought sitting in your seat, looking after compliance, regulations, making sure that everything is above board, the fact that Enfuse is saying, here is everything and we're going to stick it out to this company so that they can do some cards and whatever else, you sort of lose some visibility. That must be keeping you awake at night.
Well, because of how we operate, it doesn't keep me awake at night because of the way we've set ourselves up.
Yeah.
But in principle, it would keep me awake at night. What we're effectively doing is we're saying to someone else, we're going to give you a capability to issue cards, but we are going to outsource. And now I'm using official terminology. Yeah. We're going to outsource through the regulatory regime in place certain activities to you, like onboarding cardholders, not handling fully, but dealing with complaints, identifying complaints. These are things that are governed by regulation. And if what we call program partners, because we partner with our customers, they're our partners. Yeah. If they mess up, we mess up, right? So we're accountable. We're ultimately accountable. We have really, really good relationships with our customers. We work with them. We are educating them, providing them with really detailed processes. But we are having to do a lot of oversight work. If we weren't doing that, if we weren't doing the testing, the quality assurance, then I definitely would be awake at night. But look, we've had to go through authorization processes with multiple regulators now: the FCA, Financial Conduct Authority in the UK, and the Financial Supervisory Authority in Finland. And we've had to explain deeply how our business model works. How do we get comfortable with outsourcing? We're not the only ones who would potentially be awake at night. The regulators are as well, because you are one step removed from the activity. But outsourcing is a perfectly respectable thing to do if you manage it in the right way, and we've explained how we do it to our regulators. They're comfortable, and as long as we apply the controls that we have, to manage the risks that we face, and it's all proportionate, and we're testing, then I'm actually able to sleep at night quite nicely.
Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, the future is based on ecosystems and platforms, so you're heading in the right direction, and I think it's fantastic. We're here at Copenhagen Nordic Fintech Week. I nearly called it the Copenhagen Fintech Week. We keep messing this up and everything else, but Nordic Fintech Week. What have you thought of the show so far?
It's fantastic. The vibe, the atmosphere. I was at a round table this morning talking about the future and or future of payments. And all the stands. It's great to be here. Networking, speaking to different people. This is my first time at this particular event, and it's fantastic. Just getting all these great minds together to talk about payments and fintech is brilliant.
Fantastic. You got a session here that you're presenting or anything?
Yes, tomorrow. Don't remind me. So I'm on stage tomorrow with Nicole from Infuse, and we're going to be. It's True Confessions of a Chief Risk Officer. So I'm going to be answering the tough questions up on stage, and let's just say it's going to get a bit spicy if I can't answer a question.
Oh, I love it. We're going to have to come and listen to that. You see, I was very nice. I didn't ask you any of the painful, nasty questions.
No, thank you for that, by the way.
No, not a problem at all. We'll come and secretly record the ones tomorrow.
I presume your invoice is in the post.
Yes. Yeah. You did get my bank account details, right?
Yes,
they've already been provided. Yes. Yeah. I'm bribing a risk officer. I think the podcast is going down the toilet now.
This is probably the right place to start, right?
Yes. Yeah. Time out. No, but it's been fantastic. Thank you for joining us here on the sofa.
Back here at the studio, and this time we found a very interesting guest to join us on this our podcasting couch. Rodit, so how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on the couch.
Yeah, you're welcome. So you work for Citibank, right?
That's correct.
And you're going to be on stage later. But
that's right.
Tell us a little bit about you and your background.
Sure. So I run a team called the Future of Finance. Think of it as a think tank. It's part of a broader unit called City Institute. So we create actionable insights for our clients. And these are anywhere from governments and central banks and ministries of finance to entrepreneurs and startups and investors and the whole 9 yards, as they say.
Yeah, I think I've read a lot of research reports from Citibank.
Awesome.
Regarding stablecoins and crypto, for example.
Yep.
Which again is a very, very hot topic here, even here today.
And just half an hour or an hour before we filmed this, we released our latest stablecoin report.
Oh, nice. I have to take a look for sure.
Stablecoins from Web3 to Wall Street is the title.
I like the title. I'm going to leave my opinions of stablecoins with me for now.
I like that. I like that.
But again,
is it something very vaguely inappropriate, your opinions of stablecoins?
No, I mean, just briefly, we see a lot of problems in stablecoins. It's not exactly clear in terms of what is actually allowed and what needs to be done, and does it actually improve any of the infrastructure that we have. But yeah, safe to say it's a very interesting topic. So
a lot to discuss.
So we keep our eyes on the market and we're following everything that's going on in order to be ready for the possible future of stablecoins. Okay. But hey, enough about me. So let's back to you. Yeah. So I understand you're going to be on stage in just like half an hour. So what are you going to be talking about?
Stablecoins.
Oh, wow. So you're going to be on stage promoting the report, I presume.
To be serious for a second, the report says stablecoins are going to be growing a lot. Stablecoins today are about 280 billion in issuance and is basically a crypto ecosystem tool. Yeah. Stablecoins grew up as tokenized on-chain cash, and it's primarily used within the crypto ecosystem. Whether that's good or bad, the crypto ecosystem is a separate debate, but that's what it's used for. What we're saying in this report that we published now in September, which is a sequel to the April report we published called Digital Dollars, is that we expect that stablecoin market to grow from 280 billion of issuance to 1.9 trillion. Now, 1.9 trillion is a big number. It's going to grow very fast. But actually what we're reiterating or emphasizing in the report today is in the context of the amount of money that moves. And this is one of the things that I think people don't really day-to-day grasp, just how much money that moves in the world. We at Citi move 4 trillion or 5 trillion every night. The big banks in the world, the big global banks, move 3, 4, 5 trillion, some even more, some 10 trillion a night. There's a lot of flow of funds. So what we're saying in the report is stablecoins are going to grow primarily, number one, for the crypto ecosystem. Number two, for, let's call them digitally native companies, like gaming companies or e-commerce companies. They're almost looking for a general purpose in-game token. So if your kids, or maybe you are on Roblox, you have a Robux token. Or if you're using Starbucks, more likely in my case, there's a loyalty reward program. And you're taking that in-game token or loyalty rewards and making to a general purpose token, which is, so we think the second source of demand is going to be that. The third source of demand is going to be in frontier or emerging markets where people want to hold dollars or euros. Yeah. So those are going to drive it. Now, in the report we're saying, now that's all great, and we need to be aware, ready, plan, prepare for it. And in countries and clients that want us to provide that service, we will. But the other thing we're saying in the report is bank tokens or a bank version of stablecoins. So in our case, what we have is tokenized deposits. Many of other banks have this as well, which is something like a stablecoin, but it's not really. It's a regulated instrument because it sits on. It's a representation of our balance sheet, and we get some of the positives of stablecoins without maybe some of the challenges. So we're saying in the report we think that bank tokens or tokenized deposits are going to be growing in terms of circulation and turnover much faster. Or at least as fast and then exceed stablecoins. So we're saying in the report it could be north of 100 trillion of annual turnover of bank tokens, and stablecoins could be around, depending on the velocity of turnover, that 1.9 trillion of issuance could lead to about 100 trillion in the base case of turnover, and in the bull case higher. So that's the second thing we're saying in the report, look out for bank tokens. The third thing we're saying in the report is the world of finance has been changing, and we've written about this in many other reports. The world of finance is changing rapidly in the 30 years or so I've been in finance, or even earlier when I was the client of the financial sector in the UK for the first time. I don't know if you had a little passbook with your savings bank. I had a little passbook with my savings bank. So we're as old as you.
Yeah, we are.
So I had a passbook, and you go and write it down. And now my youngest is 11. His passbook is an app, right? And he has a virtual card, which is linked to mine. I set it up within a few minutes in Dubai, where I'm living now. How did I do that? It's linked to my bank account. Through open banking and APIs. I didn't have to fill out all my information. Just boom, set it up very quickly. So this idea of making everything easier, faster, real-time, digital, this is like a 20, 25-year journey that we've been on, and it's just accelerating. Stablecoins or bank tokens or other instruments are just part of that broader journey.
Okay. I'm going to read the report. But one of my favorite topics when talking about stablecoins is that I'm never able to get anybody to say what is the actual use case for stablecoins.
Sure.
You just told us three. I usually say that the only two use cases for stablecoins is basically crypto gambling. So again, not something that my bank is interested in doing, for example. And then it's the USD liquidity in places where it's difficult to get access to US dollars.
So those are two of the three things
so
I said.
Yeah, exactly. And then the third one is interesting. You mentioned like this virtual world, so in-game tokens, if you will. I struggle to see if that's going to actually be a big use case. But again, I'm looking forward to reading your the report and maybe.
Well, don't just read my report.
Yeah.
Plug for my book. You can read my book as well.
Okay. We'll do that. So, okay, tell us about
Future Money.
Future
Money.
Is it a recent book or?
It was published last year, so it's kind of recent. And what we start in the book, actually, a few of my friends, only my friends, I bought it, right? No, they read it and they said, Ron, you say it's about. The title says Future Money, but actually a lot of the book is about the present and the past. Because I start off by talking in chapter 1 about one of the first monetary innovations or financial innovations was this idea of fiat money. Do you know what fiat money is?
Of course.
Yes. So when do you think fiat money started?
Oh, that was back when the governments moved away from the gold standard, right? So
when was that?
Yeah. Oh God.
He's supposed to be interviewing me, right? Let's make this fun.
1800s, I think, right? So
that's not bad, not bad. Some people say, a lot of people say 1970s when President Nixon's administration took the US off the gold standard. But believe it or not, it was in the 1200s, late 1200s.
Right. Okay.
So where do banknotes come from? Well, the Chinese invented paper and printing. So no surprise, the Chinese invented banknotes. Somewhere between 800 and 900 AD, the Chinese invent banknotes. Merchants. Merchants going up and down the Great Silk Road were like, carrying, and they had bronze coins back then. Carrying all these bronze coins is just inefficient. I'm going to deposit them with my merchant friends along the way, along the road, and they will issue receipts. And then they became early banknotes.
Of course.
At some point, the Chinese administrators were like, that looks like money, that's our business, so we'll stamp it and regulate it. So money started, or banknotes started, as a private-public partnership. Roll forward a couple hundred years, and the great Khans are running China, so the Mongols. So we all know about Genghis Khan and his grandson Kublai Khan, but we normally think of it for horseback riding or amazing rapid imperial expansion across all of China, what we call today near the Near East, Central Asia, into the borderlands of Ukraine and today Hungary, and so we know about that. What we don't know, or most people don't know, is actually they gave us fiat money. Kublai Khan gave us fiat money. So the book starts with that history because one day they just ran out of bronze coins. And Kublai Khan said, just print the ...
We
money.
need more.
So Kublai Khan, actually he wanted to invade another country. So he went to his CFO treasurer, his money man, and said, okay, I'm going to invade Japan. And the CFO treasurer's like, sorry, boss, we have no money in the treasury. And like all good imperial CEOs, he said, let's make some, let's print it. And he said, you CFOs just thinking about, let's think big picture. And that's how he got fiat money. It lasted a few generations, and then one of his successors was just a bad ruler. So, because he could enforce it, because literally the first banknotes apparently said, this is money, and if you don't use it as money, I will kill you. Something like that. So that's where the book starts, and then it goes on to, and it ends with blockchain and AI and AR and everything.
All right, perfect.
So there you are.
So
you need to read that as well.
I have a lot of reading to do, and it seems like we got a really nice history lesson here for this morning session. So thank you for that, and our listeners will also thank you later. So, but again, you're about to go on stage,
yes.
But how have you enjoyed the event so far?
Awesome. So I'm here with my colleagues from City Scandinavia and also City London. And before this event, our wonderful public affairs lady, shout out to Annalie. Annalie reminded me this is the 5th year we've been doing this event together. And the 5th year I've been speaking at it. So I don't know why they keep inviting me back, but they do. So I guess it's the jokes, I don't know. Maybe the history lessons.
Oh, the history lessons.
Yeah, the history lessons, yeah.
All right.
And maybe some of my predictions came true, I don't know.
Let's see. Let's see if another 5 years.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Always have predictions that are 5 years out, right?
Exactly. Great, but it's fantastic to have you here with us this morning before your stage appearance very soon, and best of luck to you on stage. Break a leg, I guess that's what they say.
That's what they say. I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, some theater thing, whatever. Anyway, good luck with your stage presence, and thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rune,
hello.
Fantastic to see you, and thank you for joining us on the podcast sofa.
Yeah, it's a beautiful couch. I'm
sitting
pretty well.
I know
say.
we've already discussed this with the guys at Copenhagen Fintech. That they really went all out and got us this fantastic. This must be designer.
And the thing is, it has to be some sort of Danish design, Nordic design. Simplistic.
I'm also pretty sure that they paid for it using MasterCard.
They might have.
They must have done. They must have gone in with a MasterCard and said, we need this sofa.
We need this specific sofa.
For the Fintech Daydreaming guys.
Yeah, and that makes me happy, obviously.
Of course it does, and it makes you happy because you work for MasterCard.
Yes, I do. I work for MasterCard, work global communications for MasterCard specifically. And then I also have a long-standing history in the fintech space of taking part in creating 2 fintech journeys actually here in the region. A personal finance management app, and then later an open banking platform that we then later sold to MasterCard. So that was actually my way into MasterCard. Quite interesting. And today I lead everything on the global communication side on open banking, specifically. And it's a very cool gig. It's a nice job.
It sounds like it, yeah. Getting to run around looking after communications for one of the biggest card companies.
I actually think, MasterCard has a lot to say.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most interesting bit, that we always have some good stories. We're so present in many areas, many industries, with many different types of partners and stuff, right? So it's really, it's a fun and I would say never a dull moment at MasterCard.
So you said open banking. So this is MasterCard and MasterCard's view on open banking leading to embedded finance, and that wider part. Is it the full breadth of open banking, or are you guys very, very focused on, card payments and card rails when it comes to open banking?
So actually what we've done as MasterCard over the past 5+ years, we've been very heavily invested into rail sets that goes beyond our card rails. We know that the card rails, they work, they operate, but we also want to enable people with choice. That could be choice in regards to how they connect their financial data to a third-party app. Could be to get a better loan, like lending opportunities. Could be getting a better financial overview of their finances across multiple banks. It could also be in the way we pay. So enabling choice in the way we pay by also being able to pay by bank. And that's sort of a thing that has become pretty big in different parts of the world. UK, for instance, very interesting. I think we're above 25 million payments just based on the, on pay by bank, on account-to-account based payments based on open banking. And I think for me, having been a part of that industry for so long, and also seeing the very, very early days of this industry, we've come to some sort of fruition or stabilization. Now we actually see the use cases. We see that customers, they enjoy using this product. We see that consumers get a more convenient financial platform or an easier way to do, for instance, for businesses, banking reconciliation through an ERP system. So that's sort of the power of what we bring, the open banking access, the open banking data.
Isn't this potentially a double-edged sword where the other financial institutions and PSPs turn around and say, hey, you used to be our partner with the payments rails and now you're competing with us. Come on, guys.
No, I wouldn't say it, because we are actually empowering a lot of these people with different things, also open banking being one of those things.
Yeah.
So I would say, MasterCard is a tech company first.
Yeah.
And we want to be present where we can be present in every journey possible, where we can create a good user experience, regardless of whether that's a payment or sharing data or cybersecurity. For instance, that could be many things.
Okay.
And
very interesting.
Obviously, that's also what we're here at Nordic Fintech Week to discuss and to talk about, right?
Yes.
We've had a long-standing relationship to the Copenhagen Fintech team, who so happily provided this luxurious design sofa.
Yeah.
And we're simply again back this year with what we have 5, 6, 7 years in a row where we've been here. We're hosting the MasterCard Barbecue, which is a long sought after event that happens every year where we celebrate the industry, celebrate fintech, celebrate our partners. And it's just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, no, I have to admit, I thoroughly enjoyed the barbecue last night.
That was good.
I was pleasantly surprised. Very good selection of good meats and really good. And your little cocktails, orange cocktails with the MasterCard logo on, and
And that's exactly what we want. That expression that you just around here, like, because today is not necessarily about hey, here's my product, buy it. That's not what we're about at MasterCard. We're about creating experiences for customers, partners, etc. And what we can do here with the barbecue is, obviously celebrate those relationships.
Yes.
And that usually leads to very good conversations.
It does. It's all about relationship selling these days, right?
In a more informal setting.
Yeah. I
similar
think,
to what we have here with the couch.
Yeah. No, I think if there's only one thing that I could criticize about the barbecue last night, you ran out of food too fast.
We did?
Yes, I only got one serving. I was being polite. I took a small amount of food. I sat down and I ate and went back to get more and it was gone.
I had 6 guys just in open flame standing like, we can't keep up with this. Oh, well, that's a learning for next year.
Learning for next year, yes. Yeah.
But obviously we're very, very supportive of Copenhagen Fintech, of Nordic Fintech and other communities, because we also believe that many of the solutions of tomorrow will come out of these communities. Yes. So we obviously want to be here to empower those solutions, to engage with those solutions, and in the end, maybe they can become either a part of MasterCard or support customers of ours in a new, interesting way.
World domination.
You won't get me to say that, but for sure, I think obviously for us as a company, we've grown a lot in different areas. So we keep obviously trying to learn when we come to events like these about what's cooking in the markets, what's cooking on the product side of things, and how we can be there to also embed those solutions in the future of financial services.
Sounds exciting. Thank you very much for joining me here on the sofa.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome back. And look who we run into. I would say almost like a friend of the podcast now. So
I think you are very kind. I think I got told to be a stalker. We talked about being cheerleader. So, but yes, a friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast. So good to have you on, Christy. So again, for the audience who might not have catched you on the previous live episodes that we have done, who are you and what are you doing here?
Yeah, my name is Christy Christensen. I am at Danske Bank. I focus on our integrations and doing partnerships with the ecosystem. So that's what I do.
Yeah, all right, great. And indeed, I think this is the third time you're on the podcast. Every time we do live, you just pop up from somewhere.
Yes,
so.
yes.
But we love to have you
Suddenly
on.
I'm here.
Yeah, because we have a lot of aligned kind of interests and the kind of things that we're working on. And one of those things, for example, and you mentioned this just before we started recording, is the embedded finance paper that actually me and Pål were co-authoring from Mobi Forum. So did you have any nice things to say about
I have so many nice things to say. Also, like Danske Bank is a contributor for that report as well, right? But I think the report is just spot on. Banks need to understand the importance of embedded finance and how you embed financial services broader and what it means just beyond, the game is beyond the regulatory PSD2 open banking APIs, right? And that is just in my wheelhouse. That's what I believe, and that's also the execution that's backed up by Danske Bank's 428 strategy, right? Like that is what I'm doing when I say partnerships. That is like ecosystem, the ERPs, the treasury management systems. How do we also facilitate that engagement and support our joint customers by embedding financial services out there in the ecosystem and loosen up on the control, right? So we become more of an infrastructure player, we become a platform, and how we engage in different avenues and interfaces, however the customer choose to. So I am a huge fan of the work that's been done on the Mobi Forum report. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, of course. I mean, it was fun to write, and indeed it was contributions from a large group, including Danske Bank, into the paper. That's the way Mobi Forum works. And for you listeners, if you haven't read it already, it's easy to find from the Mobi Forum website. You can basically just fill in a small form and you'll be able to download it. Also happy to hear that it sounds like you have actually read the paper.
Yes! I would encourage everyone to read it.
Yeah.
I think it's super interesting and it really push on, banks need to, and I'm new at Danske Bank, right? But banks really need to rethink their business model. How are they navigating? How are they making sure that they serve their customers in the right way, right? And I think that's also why I'm so proud of being at Danske Bank, because I see that we're really taking a strategic play in this space and really doubling down on it with our premium APIs.
All right. Yeah. So we are here at the Nordic Fintech Week, of course, in Copenhagen, as you have heard many times during even this episode. But so, what are you doing here? What are you? Have you found anything interesting? Are you on stage? So, what's going on?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of different things. So we've had a few conversations on stage as well from multiple Danske Bank colleagues of ours as well, where we're talking about embedded finance, open finance. We're talking about the landscape around SMEs, how the bank plays a role there. We've hosted a side event yesterday as well, where we had the whole ecosystem with us. So the CFO, the platform synergy, as well as an advisory role, assets, where we had a really good constructive dialogue around what it actually means in terms of this financial embedment of our premium APIs, and again, how do we serve customers best? And almost taking a bit of a, is it an AI hype, or are we looking at advisory, and how do we see those two worlds coexist when it comes to how we serve? So a lot of things are happening, and we just kicked off this beautiful week with our fellow fintech nerds as well, with the launch of our new partnership with Finance Key, and that's just one out of many collaborations that we have where we co-develop our premium APIs, and where we actually really go into the ecosystem and serve our customers wherever they choose, right? So I'm really personally super proud of that collaboration that we announced. And again, I think it was on a panel discussion yesterday where it's like, well, the conversations and press releases and the champagnes are popping, but that's not where the work ends. And I cannot agree anymore that, we are really co-developing and keep building on as part of our pilot program. So that's very exciting.
Yeah. My next question would have been that what is the highlight for you during this event? But I think we got plenty of highlights already in that previous answer. So I think we will leave it there, and looking forward to having you next time on the podcast, whenever we are live again, I suppose.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate having me again.
Thanks for joining us.
Always a fun.
Yeah.
Hey, Veiko.
Hey.
Hey, welcome to our podcasting sofa here at Nordic Fintech Week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great to be here.
How have you enjoyed the event so far?
It's been fantastic. It's always great to get together with people from the same domain, meeting the banks, meeting the service providers, and obviously hearing the insights, what's going on, what's trending. So that's always, very refreshing.
Do you have a session here? Have you been presenting, or are you just attending?
I've been mainly attending. I've been taking part into a couple of interviews. We announced a big partnership collaboration with Danske Bank earlier this week, and that's also part of why I'm here.
So expand further. You said it now. So
yeah,
partnership with Danske Bank.
Yes. So what Finance Key does, we provide a payment cash management solution for the corporate treasuries, and with an API first approach that we can provide this real-time capability, which then helps automate processes in a different level. There we have now partnered with Danske Bank to help their clients take their premium API capability into use. And that's where we're working with common customers, helping them to be onboarded, get the real-time data feed running via APIs, and yeah.
Exciting. Who else do you work with, or is Danske Bank the big egg?
So obviously, yeah, as a young company, we first focused on mainly getting customers in, making sure that we can serve them super well, they are happy, and of course getting then big logos in lately has helped us to build collaboration like this. We have earlier a collaboration also with Raiffeisen Bank on a similar, or Raiffeisen Bank International with a similar topic and focus, being connected to their APIs, helping their large corporate customers to take advantage of the API capabilities, where often the legacy solution providers are not able to react that fast. They are not able to integrate and in that sense help quickly their customers with the digital services that the banks are providing on a and where they are investing more and more time. So that's kind of a bottleneck we saw in the market, that when we started Finance Key, there's not enough choices and possibilities for the large corporations, the institutions, taking advantage of the API capabilities that banks have designed and are offering towards the large clients.
You sort of partially answered what was going to be my next question, because you're saying that you've got a partnership also with Raiffeisen.
Yeah.
So your focus is not just on the Nordics, it's Europe, or is it worldwide?
It's very much initially been kind of like Europe, and I think there's two reasons to that. In Europe, the regulator and in EU specifically forced banks to open up the interfaces with the Payment Service Directive 2 at a time. There hasn't been much that, or kind of like no other providers or platforms really who made open banking and APIs possible for the corporate world, for the corporate treasurers who are lacking the technical, IT skills, and hence we saw that there was a gap to fill. Obviously, you kind of like need to serve them with the service that offers more than just APIs, but that's where we can provide them the real-time capabilities to these large institutions, enterprises out there.
Mentioned PSD2 quite a few times. What about PSD3? Where do you guys sit on that journey towards PSD3 and PSR? Good thing, I assume?
So the regulation of course helps and pushes banks to do more, and but whenever there's new things coming up, there will be also hiccups, and things are not kind of like working immediately out of the box. And also with PSD2 APIs, the maturity has been building up all the time, and there's also many things we need to do as a software provider to kind of like fill the gaps that PSD2 did not kind of fill as a service towards kind of corporate use cases. But it's a combination of kind of like being able to offer any APIs, be it the regulatory or the direct premium APIs banks are offering towards customers, and then being able to tackle either the consent management or the certificates, the kind of credentials that come up with the premium APIs. Yeah, but yeah. So obviously, Europe has been the focus. To answer the previous question, from two reasons, because of this API focus, but also we are ourselves based in Europe, so trying to target those European headquartered companies. That's been the focus initially. And then what comes to the PSD3, so there's certain improvements definitely that are coming, and of course one important thing is the possibility to validate the account owner of euro accounts in the SEPA area, and that's something pretty cool, where those players who are processing a lot of payments can just do the verification of the account owner in advance before making the payment. But from a corporate perspective, it's a bit of a struggle because people are on the payment side still relying on files, and there's new capabilities that kind of like regulatory initiatives are more coming and being kind of designed for single payments in a way, and things are shaping there, and when things are shaped, it will benefit big time the corporation.
Fantastic. In this fintech world, everything moves pretty rapidly. We always talk about what's going to happen in the next 3 days.
Yes.
So 6 months time, where do you hope to be?
You think that things move fast, maybe in the fintech world, yes, but then when you are a fintech working with large corporations, you are dealing with banks, and it also, in order to serve kind of like the real-time capabilities, for example, towards the corporations, it needs banks to step up their game and provide the capabilities. I mean, 6 months time, I believe that there's way more corporations in our field consuming APIs. The interest towards real time is clearly growing. The RFPs we are involved, we see the demands for real time balance updates in every RFP. So that side of things we see developing further. Then on the cross-border payment side, stablecoins are something that is clearly an interest towards this domain that from where I'm coming from. Right. And I think there's a lot of use cases and a lot of efficiencies you can get out. The struggle and the bottleneck again is the service providers, the vendors. How can they react, especially when their backends are built 20, 30 years ago? Yeah. So it's super difficult to be that agile that you could quickly activate those new services. But that's where providers like FinanceKey come in, and we are able to then help in this kind of use cases.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you're enjoying the 2 days here in Copenhagen and enjoyed the barbecue last night and everything else.
Yeah.
What's your key takeaway?
My key takeaway is that the more we can collaborate in this ecosystem, the banks, the fintechs, the both the kind of like older vendors out there, the newer entrants in coming to the system, the ERP providers, the people providing the pipelines, the infrastructure. That is where we can get innovation accelerated and the go-to-market, faster go-to-market that will actually benefit every party. So collaboration, that's the key.
Collaboration is the key. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Collaboration is the key, and it's becoming more and more important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Things move too fast for large organizations to manage to do everything themselves.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Yes. Well, thank you for joining us here on the sofa.
Yeah.
And enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you. The same.
Åsa.
Yes.
Fantastic that you could join us here on the podcast sofa in this wonderful little backstage room here at the event. And you are the main person behind making this a success, right?
Well, I would say it kind of takes a village to make this happen. Mm-hmm. Luckily there's a great team in this together from Copenhagen Fintech, and everyone that is participating in Nordic Fintech Week is also leaning in a lot because it is still a very much community-driven event, being at the startups that are here, or the bigger banks and corporates. Everyone is just really leaning in and coming with their energy to make this happen.
Fantastic. I mean, we've had 2 days of great interviews here on this sofa. We are wrapping up now for the end of day 2 of this fantastic event.
Yes.
But for us, it's been 2 days. For you, when did you start? Does it take a whole year? Does it?
Yes, basically it does, right? So this is the second time that I have the pleasure of organizing Nordic Fintech Week. It's good fun. Of course, I've had the opportunity of learning, implementing a lot of the learnings really. But yes, really, I'm actually right now, even though we're still executing Nordic Fintech Week 25, already starting with planning and having the first dialogues with potential partners for Nordic Fintech Week 26. That's certain.
Oh, you can definitely add us to the list. We'll come back next year and do the podcast for you. And we'd love to have a spot on the stage.
Happy to hear that.
Yes,
that's great. Everything's possible.
Absolutely, yes. But with events like this, they are so big. It's a huge undertaking, particularly to pull it off. And we absolutely love coming to Nordic Fintech Week. I can't count anymore how many times I've been here. Ville's been here on stage many times as well.
That's true, I remember that.
But nothing is ever foolproof, right? So if we were to sort of try and find what has been your highlight? What has been that perfect thing that you would say, out of everything, this has to go on the top of the list for you?
That is a very good question. To be very honest, I mean, yes, it's the Nordic Fintech Week. We're located in Copenhagen, Denmark. To be very fair, it's the weather.
The weather.
We have blue sky, the sun is out, people are just smiling, walking towards you. Everyone is just completely amazed about that. People from Finland saying, oh, in Finland it's almost already winter and here we can sit outside and have a coffee. And especially also yesterday evening and afternoon, people enjoying themselves, having a chat outside in the sun, having a cup of coffee, and then for our big community dinner, just being able to sit outside and just feel that, yeah, I mean, we're not done with summer yet, right?
Oh, no, it was fantastic yesterday, yes.
I think it's a good energy. People seem to be happy, and I think actually the weather is a big factor here. We're very blessed with that this year.
The weather has been the highlight for you.
Yes, in a way. And it's also you can't plan the weather, and especially here in the Nordics, you got to be prepared for pretty much everything, right? Yes. It could also just be 5 degrees and freezing and raining. So that's definitely one of the highlights, I would say that. But also, we have almost doubled the number of partners joining us this year for Nordic Fintech Week 25, which is obviously super great. And also, a testimony of the success we created last year, and just seeing that we're able of creating more interest, both partners that are joining us again, but certainly also being able to attract new partners this year. So that's just, really great and pretty amazing. Yeah.
Wonderful. There's always hiccups. Whatever you plan, whatever you do. I mean, but what is it they say? The best written plan will never survive contact with the enemy. Right.
And that is very, very true. Definitely. Yes. So when our CEO asked me a couple of days ago if I wanted to moderate a panel, I was like, Thomas, that's very nice of you, but that won't fly in reality, because I'll just be running around fixing smaller issues, bigger issues all the time. So I'd rather not, because I would not be comfortable, because I would know that, okay, maybe somebody needs me, and it could be anything from a volunteer needed here to speakers arriving late to, I don't know, whatever, a partner management related problem. So just running around a lot, fixing things all the time. I think it's really about 90% planning, and then always leaving these 10% extra for improvising and for being just, ready for whatever problem is being brought up. But I would say one of the biggest challenges would be that, the Copenhagen FinTech team has also been growing a lot over the last year. So half of the team has actually never tried Nordic FinTech Week. How do you explain something like Nordic FinTech Week to other people that haven't tried it before, that maybe don't have experience with executing such big conferences, right? So I think that would be one of the biggest challenges actually this year. So we've obviously tried to prepare them the best possible way. But then, all the unforeseen things, right, that hit you, it's just impossible to train people for that. So I would actually say from like an operational, organizational perspective, that has definitely been one of the challenges. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that the main keynote for today unfortunately had to cancel at the very last minute.
Yes.
Those sort of things must, send shivers up your spine when you're standing there going, our keynote should be talking in 1 hour and it's just cancelled.
Yes, that is definitely an interesting one to solve. That is so true. But I would say that one of the good things about Nordic FinTech Week, like everyone in the organization just really pulls together. From our student assistants to the CEO, everyone is just sitting there trying to fix that problem and fixing that issue. And as we say, up to Nordic FinTech Week, titles don't matter. We don't have titles in the organization. Everyone is just giving a hand where it's needed, leaning in, and offering a supporting, helping hand to solve those issues.
Fantastic. Now, I have to say, and I'm sure Ville will second me on this, it's been a fantastic 2 days. It's been the caliber of speakers that you've had, outstanding, really, really good. We have interviewed so many people that we enjoy talking to as well. So it's been
good.
really good. What's your one key takeaway from these 2 days?
Oh, that's a tough one, actually. That's a really, really tough one. I think key takeaway is, in terms of how to further develop this conference, where do we go from here, right? I think the key takeaway is that we have a thriving fintech community in the Nordics that is interesting enough also to attract attention from outside of the Nordics, from Europe, from the rest of the world. That's really great, and that we still have the community at core. I still feel that that's very much the case. A lot of people approaching me saying, oh, that's so cool, all those startups that are still here, right? I mean, it's not just this corporate circus. We still have the community at the heart of our event. And really everyone leaning in and being here, right? A lot of people are also like, okay, it's 9:30 and it's already buzzing, right? Usually at conferences, they really come to life at like 10, 11 maybe, but this is like thriving and there's a pulse here. And I think that's one of the key takeaways, actually, that we managed to attract a good crowd, a good audience here, still community at heart, an interesting crowd with good, deep conversations. Interesting conversations. Yeah, people leave Nordic Fintech Week smarter than they came, inspired, and they're looking forward to coming back next year. And I guess that's the biggest success criteria.
Fantastic. We're closing out Fintech Week 2025. You said you're already starting the planning and work for 2026.
For sure.
For our listeners that are out there and listening to this, they might be thinking, hey, we'd like to get involved in this. Maybe how do they reach out to you? How do they get in contact if they want to be a partner, if they want to have a panel discussion or anything else? How do they reach out?
Well, everyone that wants to be part of Nordic Fintech Week is very welcome to reach out to me. Just send me an email on wac@copenhagenfintech.dk. Very happy to start the dialogue. Important for me that it's very dialogue based. It's about finding out what the right match is here. Yep. How can we support partners with their strategic goals and ambitions? But also really requesting something from our partners. What do you bring to the table? How do you make Nordic Fintech Week an even better event next year? So it's really about partnerships, long-lasting relations, open for business every time, and looking forward to hearing from you.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us here on the podcasting sofa, and thank you for a fantastic 2 days.
Thank you very much.
Here we are at the end of Nordic Fintech Week at Copenhagen.
And there we were.
And there we were, indeed. We did this kind of whole time-lapse thing a couple of episodes ago, so maybe we need to keep this...
It wasn't a couple of episodes ago, it's the episode before this one.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Time really is a complicated topic.
It is. It's good that we are just bankers.
Indeed.
Yes.
It's not like numbers matter or anything.
No.
So yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, again, it's been a very hectic, very fun 2 days, I would say, here. We had a fantastic evening event here yesterday, and this day, even today we've done multiple interviews, a couple of really good ones as well, as you probably already heard during this episode. And overall, I think it's been one of the more active events for us than we've done ever before. We see a lot of people here that recognize us. We said the same thing in Stockholm, I know, but this seems to be even more. And they just come over and they want to be on the podcast. So we had no problems whatsoever convincing people to join us here on this couch. But I mean, yeah, what was the highlight for you, Paul?
So many.
So many.
There was actually so many highlights. It's difficult to sort of pick out just one. I think the barbecue last night, hosted by MasterCard, was fantastic. I think all of the guests we have had here to talk to, I think some of the discussions we've had have been really good.
Yeah.
I think we're getting better at this all the time.
Yeah. Could be.
And Or maybe my highlight was the fact that our flight was not cancelled because of drones.
At least on the way in. We still have to see if there's going to be cancellations when we head out back to home Helsinki. But yeah, so again on the guests, I think one of the funner things was that many of the guests actually themselves asked, could we come back to the podcast for a longer discussion?
Yes.
And we did accept many of those kind of self-invitations, if you will.
Yes.
And so look forward to next season specifically when we're going to bring back a lot of these people, I guess we had on the couch for a few minutes in order to have a longer discussion in depth with all the interesting topics that they want to talk about.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would love to have a more in-depth discussion with the gentleman we spoke to yesterday, who used to be a Buddhist monk.
Oh yeah. It's the first Buddhist monk on the podcast, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think he's once we shut down the camera and put the microphones down, he continued talking about his history, and he's definitely a character that would be fun to bring on onto the podcast.
Yeah.
So we'll see when we schedule that. But again, that's overall being here and having all this kind of great interaction with the people here. The organizers did a great job.
Yes.
Again, they made our lives very, very easy, even though one could argue that the studio could be a little bit fancier, but I mean, it's the content that matters, right?
but actually in hindsight and based upon some of the other live events we've done, this room might not be the prettiest, but the fact that we've been able to close the door, have quiet discussions, it's worked a lot better than the last time we, for instance, were at the event in Helsinki, where we were running around trying to find corners where we were hoping it was going to be quiet enough for us to have a discussion. So, no, it's maybe not the prettiest room, but it's definitely the best sort of pop-up studio we've had, I think.
That's true, and I actually don't think that this venue has a better room than this. This is this is the official backstage of this venue. So, who knows what kind of artists have been here before us, and we'll come here later. But and then one of the funniest highlights of the event, of course, was when I saw my dear friends at Danske Bank having a booth here. And I kid you not, they had a competition to win a drone.
Now we have to put these in context, right? Because by the time this episode airs, which is actually only, it's 2 weeks from now, people might have forgotten about all of the drones above Oslo Airport, Copenhagen Airport, a large number of other airports in Denmark. So we've been sitting here. One of the biggest issues that Copenhagen Fintech have had to deal with is speakers who have not been able to make it here because of cancelled flights. And even Leda was saying, she flew in, flew out, flew backs and forwards and everything else because of these drones.
Yeah.
So yes, Danske Bank, smart move.
Really good marketing actually. Anyway, so we did have a bit of fun with the people at the Danske Bank booth, but we apologize and we don't apologize for that. Anyway, so again, it's been a fantastic event. Really looking forward to coming back here next year. We hope, and maybe we even get to do that live on stage.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
As well, which would be really cool.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I think we have babbled long enough. And it's time for us.
I just realized something.
Yeah, tell me.
God damn it, we have broken from our 6-year tradition.
Oh, that is true.
No joke.
We do have to come up with a joke.
There is no joke.
Yeah, and I have no jokes. I'm blanking out, so.
Let's. Where does Father Christmas keep his money?
In some sort of a bank. What?
In the snowbank.
Of course. We got it. Thank you for saving the tradition. We would have gotten so much feedback about the lack of jokes, of course. But again, we made it. So thank you for that. So again, now we have perhaps babbled long enough. And,
yes.
We can close for this and start packing.
Head to the airport.
Start to pack up and hope that the drones haven't closed the airport and that we get home.
Yes.
So again, thank you again especially to Copenhagen Fintech for having us here, and I hope to see you next year and continue this close collaboration that we have with the event and the ecosystem overall. As always, like, subscribe, find us on LinkedIn, find us on the webpage, all the podcast platforms, and especially on YouTube. Subscribe and put the notifications on for new content in YouTube. That is especially important. So if you do all of that, we will be good friends with you, I promise. That being said, it's goodbye from Copenhagen, and this has been Fintech Daydreaming.
This is Fintech Daydreaming.